Okay, now I think we're here. Welcome everybody that is decided to spend their time joining me tonight on this live stream. This is going to be a special one. We had one yesterday where I was talking about a lost drone that hopefully will be recovered soon. So I decided to do another attempt today to test out the feature of having a guest on the show. And with a possible upcoming GoPro Hero 8 coming out very soon, I've decided to invite or have asked my good friend, internet friend, Sean Oz, to join me here tonight to talk a little bit about this new camera and what we might expect from this. We also, on the list, I also have 2 more points. I have something I call the mail time, I think I decided to call it. We're going to unbox some of the stuff that I'm buying all the time for the channel to improve sort of the whole setup. I also have a third point, which would be like a video review, where we're going to review one of this new subscribers' video. And in this case, for the first time, it will be me that volunteers and will show a video that I made specifically for this purpose. And we can discuss that together. So let's see if we can find Sean somewhere on the internet and bring him on the show. Hey Sean, welcome to the Tech Drone Media live stream. How are you this evening? Afternoon?
Are you hearing my audio? Am I here?
Yeah, I think you're here.
All right, excellent. Thanks for having me.
Let me just verify that everything is like it's supposed to. Let's go in here. Okay, I think we're set. So I invited you here on the show. Maybe before we start out, you have been a long-time friend of the channel, but we also had a lot of new subscribers coming here lately. So maybe you could shortly introduce yourself.
My name is Sean Oz. I live in the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, where we get snow 8 months of the year. Tons of ski resorts around me. I do a lot of drone tutorials, as well as just use drones to help further a story of sort of my journey and adventure moving here from Houston, Texas, which is a huge city south of here and has no snow. So it's been one huge change moving here compared to what I used to live in.
I think we have known each other for the best part of 2 years or maybe more. But one thing that really surprised me when you moved to the location where you are now is sort of the environment. You have the most fantastic drone landscape to basically play around with part of the year. And you made a video that you sent for me, so maybe if we could watch that together and see, that will give you a glimpse into the world that where you're living. So if you could play that video now.
Sounds good.
Okay, it seems we are having a bit of a difficulty running a video, so let's just jump into the meat of this discussion.
Okay. Yeah, that's a different video in the background.
You can see that, yeah, the one that's running on the chat. Yeah, okay, you can see that. So that's basically your video. Maybe I could just pull that one up, do it like full screen.
So the first one that you saw just a tiny glimpse of, that was actually west of where I live, and that's in Utah, which was just some weird terrain we caught just a glimpse of on the side of the road, and it was just gorgeous when we flew the drone over it. It was just, I couldn't even believe what I was seeing. It was so unique.
You're really getting a ton of snow up there.
So it started changing color, so I'll be doing some videos with the drone, getting all the yellow colored leaves falling off the trees real soon.
Yeah, it's amazing because you have a really high contrast between summer and winter. And also I've seen you in the wintertime running around in a t-shirt.
I know, it looks so much colder than it actually is. You
Okay.
can actually be outside with snow everywhere, and it's warm if the sun's out on certain days. It's really weird.
You picked up some rumor pictures about the GoPro Hero 8 that is maybe being released within the next month or so.
That's the rumor I've been hearing. I wouldn't be surprised. I was sort of expecting maybe by the end of this month we'd see some kind of announcement, but if not, then I wouldn't be surprised if we see an announcement and a possible release very soon after next month. They've got to do something with the DJI Osmo Action coming out. They have to update the GoPro 7. They can't let it sit a year before they do something.
So what do you think we will see in this new version of the camera?
It's a
The
little
Hero
weird.
8?
The pictures that I've seen are not what I was expecting. So, and again, these are just speculation. I can't verify that these are real pictures or not. It just seems to be the most common one that's out there right now. It looks like it might have a completely different type of housing that holds it. And the rumor is that in the top side of it, there's this little notch or round area that to me looks like it could be a hinge that might double as a possible shotgun mic, which would completely change the audio. A lot of people complain about the audio in the GoPros. Myself, I think the audio in the GoPro 7 was pretty darn good for a waterproof camera.
I have to agree. I think it's better. It's better than the Osmo Action.
I agree.
That's a bit muffled, and you had to basically bump it up in post whenever you have. I don't think there's even options in the Osmo Action to adjust the audio. At least I haven't found it yet.
There's a wind thing where you can turn it in, but I think it's worse with it on.
Yeah.
So I'd rather leave that off and use a wind slayer that surrounds it, which is a little piece of foam, and it does wonders. It's similar to a dead cat for a regular shotgun mic or something like that.
It's just like sponge material that goes around the camera.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference, especially if you're doing action stuff and there's wind involved.
And then I guess they will bump up the processing power in the camera, so they have to outdo 240, maybe go
there's
480 or something.
I'm trying to remember what the actual what they were saying the name of it was, but there's a new chip that's supposed to give it more power, which is supposed to make it even more stabilized, and they're supposed to be bumping up the frames per second. So I think the rumor is they can do 120 frames per second in 4K, and that's a hefty rumor to believe.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Yeah, if they figured out a way to keep the camera from overheating, that would be amazing.
Yeah, because that is kind of what I've experienced as well. It has a heating issue. Sometimes it can put itself in a position where it gets really hot.
Yeah, and even you look at some of these Sonys and other cameras that they're doing. They're shutting off even at 60 frames per second. So if the GoPro has figured out a way to solve that would be really impressive. They sort of were the first one to get out there with a really good image stabilization that was digital the way it was. The 7 just blew me away with the stabilization. I stopped using gimbals for the most part because of that camera.
Yeah. It's they've done a pretty decent job. Actually, when you're talking about that stabilization thing, you're getting sort of spoiled when you're using these cameras. So with the my Sony A7 III that has both stabilization in the lens, and it also has IBIS as an in-body image stabilization, and it sucks, to be honest. In comparison, it's not even close to what I would call stabilization. It's really bad.
My Canon DSLR T7i has on the lens, it has a little switch you can turn on to stabilize on and off, and I turn it on and I'll be like, it's not working.
Yeah. So it's I was kind of disappointed with that, but I'm shooting at the Sony A7 now, and at least it's a good webcam. Maybe an expensive one, but it's a good webcam.
It looks great. My picture is coming from this small little camera in my laptop right now. So yours is much clearer and nicer looking than mine.
So maybe we should see if there's somebody that has joined the chat. Oh, there's a lot of stuff going on here. But let me just ask a question out there. What do you think about the GoPro Hero 8? What do you think we will see? We might add, Sean. I think I saw something with like an attachable screen.
So that's
extra
a lot
screen.
of people are saying that screen, they think it's going to be an attachment that slides into the case or the housing.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping not, because I've been talking to some of my friends that also do a lot of action stuff. I showed them the same videos and pictures, and we're not going to want to spend another $50 to $100 for a second screen, which is now going to make it cost more than the Osmo Action, which comes with the screen on the front already. I think they're going to have to figure out a way for it to be a flip-up screen. I think that's really the only way. If that was a little shotgun mic and that was a flip-up screen, it had more power, and that screen had a good hinge, so when it actually shut, it stayed shut. Because if you're doing high action, snowboarding, motocrossing, whatever, and you fell with that screen up or it accidentally popped up in a fall, it would just break right at the hinge.
It is a little bit strange, to be honest. This I've seen the pictures as well. I don't really get the idea, because what you want to have with the action camera is something that's very robust, that you can beat around, and it definitely didn't look like something that would take a lot of beating.
Yeah, and then you got to think, if it is a hinge, for them to make it waterproof, they had to come up with some other new technology to make all those seals perfect with that moving joint.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. So let's see. Let's just check out the chat.
October should be an interesting month. There's a lot going on in October. If this GoPro is announced, that's one thing. There's rumors of a new iMac being announced. There's rumors of a new MacBook Pro that's 16 inches being announced. There's Vid Summit, the big conference out in LA for YouTubers.
You're going there, yeah?
I am going to that. It'll be my first time attending it. I'll share all the secrets so you guys don't have to pay. It's not cheap.
But you have to go to Sean's channel to get those insights.
There you go. Appreciate that.
So at least that would be the most fair deal there.
Boston own spin up going on in October too, so it's going to be a busy month. And then out here, middle of October, around the 18th, a couple of the ski resorts are supposed to open.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're supposed to start getting snow in October already.
Yeah, spin up is maybe you could just shortly talk about that. You're speaking there this year, yeah?
Yeah, Kelly from Ready Set Drone throws an event. The first year it was really geared towards YouTubers and people who use drones. Sort of drones were the center point that brought us all together. Even though all our channels were a little different, I felt that the drones were the main point that we all sort of had in common. And this year it's a little different. It's not so much a YouTube event as it is just a drone event. So that's going to be a little different, but I am speaking. He reached out, asked for me to speak. And I'll tell you, at first I said, yeah, no problem. Hands down, yes. It turned out to be one of the most difficult things I've done. It's way more difficult than making a video or doing these live chats like this. Way more difficult.
Sure, because when we're doing videos, you basically is 100% in control what gets published.
Oh, yeah.
So even if you say rubbish and do stuff that is not like you planned, you can always cut it away in post. So that part is easy. It was difficult in the beginning, but it's getting a lot easier.
When you do the videos, you learn to make pauses after certain things, because you're like, I might have to cut there because my next line's going to be all flubber. you know? Or if you say, you can cut all those out all the time.
That's true. All right. I think that sort of concludes the GoPro 8 talk. What should we do next? You want to see the new lens? So we should do mail time while you're here? You want to hang around and see that?
Sure. Are you, before you wrap up the GoPro, are you familiar with iPhonedo?
Yeah.
He put a little hint up the other day that he has one already. So it might be sooner than we think that we might see something. But yeah, I'd love to see the new lens.
Yeah, I know you're not that much into these bigger cameras. You do have a Canon, I think, yeah?
Yep. I actually went to college for photography years ago. But it was back when we used a thing called film, and we had to develop it in a dark room.
Yeah, that's crazy, because if you think about it, today ISO, that's just a dial. Mm-hmm. Back then it was a different roll of film. So you could not change the ISO while you were on the run. You basically need to put in like a new camera roll inside the camera. So that's pretty awesome. So let's do this mail time. So I have a nice box here, and in here I have another box. So I got a new lens, and the whole idea with this lens was basically to get something that is more wide than what I have now. In my current arsenal, I have the 24 to 105 Sony lens. I have the 24 millimeter G Master, which is the one that's mounted on the camera right now. But I needed something that was wider, so when I'm shooting videos, I can capture more of the scene. So that's why I decided to buy this one. And the good thing about that is it's expensive. That's not a good thing. But the good thing is I financed it actually by selling off all my old Canon equipment. So over the last 2 weeks, I sold something like $1,000 worth of old Canon equipment that was not being used anymore. So I basically financed this more or less for free. On top of this, this is a demonstration model. So I got additionally, what is that translated? I don't know, $150 off compared to what the normal price is. So that was a pretty sweet bargain. So let's see if I can switch over to the other camera that I have. Yeah, another camera angle that will give you a better view of what's in the box. So like this. So let's take this one away. So let's see what's in here. And it's always a little bit exciting when it's a demo model because you really don't know what's going on. There's a lot of paper in there as usual. And it's not the most interesting unboxing in the world because there's not much in a box with a lens. But there is like this cover where you have the lens tucked into. Let's just see if you can get it out. And this is the usual nice Sony quality. You can see it's the Zeiss brand that sort of vouches for the glass in the lens. So this is the 16 to 35. It's a constant f4 lens, so it has the same aperture when even if it's regardless of the zoom position. So it has this. What's it called? I don't know what it's called. Do you know what it's called, Sean, in English? This one? This one that goes in the front.
Just a lens cap?
Yeah, lens cap, yeah, or lens hood. So I have a habit of having those mounted all the time because I can always put the lens down like that and I won't hurt the glass. So that's good to have that stay on there. So that's a pretty nice lens. I'm looking forward to take that out and do some video with this. So let's just jump back to the other camera.
And that lens is for the camera you're currently shooting with.
That lens is for the Sony a7 III or for any Sony camera that is using the E-mount. The brilliant part about, let's just see if, the brilliant part about these lenses are that it's not like with Canon where you have, if you buy lenses for APS-C cameras, you can't use them on your full frame camera. These are basically fitting all the camera models that Sony has that uses the E-mount. So
Larry C in the chat asked if that was for the new Mavic Pro 3.
So, new lens. It might not be the most interesting stuff to unbox, but trust me, this one will produce some nice looking, buttery smooth footage for you guys. So let's see. So we will try again with the video. I'm not sure which video we are pulling up, but should we try and play a video?
Sure. Let's see what the surprise is.
What I really don't know is what's going on right now. So let me just do this so I can figure out what's going on. It's funny, because the way I set up the camera, I can see myself on the screen. It's like an Inception mode.
Can they hear us while the video is playing?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So that the video I'm seeing looks like it's the Utah footage again. Beautiful footage out there. I almost color graded that, made it black and white, just so that it would look more like the moon. But the colors were just so intense, I had to leave it.
The whole challenge here is, for those that are new to the chat, is that we have Sean dialing in from the US. I have my friends sitting at a remote location trying to sort of foster all of this setup. So that's why it's a little bit confusing with the lags that we see in one places when where. So, but we're trying to work out this so basically we can run a smooth show. It will probably take a couple of tries before we're there.
I appreciate having me on for your first try. Somebody named Freddie in the chat said there's an echo when one of us is talking.
So who is doing the echo?
And thank you, Raphael. I appreciate that. That's just a little west of Colorado and Utah is that location, and it's just on the side of the freeway. You can't even tell it looks like that until you the drone up in the air. Larry says it sounds like Darth Vader. Oh, yeah, my fault.
So, yeah. But that's great. And I'll just check with the flow. Can we... like that. Oh.
They're saying they're hearing the echo while the video is playing too. So I'm not sure. They said it's on both of us. No idea who, but thank you again. I appreciate you guys like that footage. The full video is on my channel, not to plug myself in the show, but
you should do that, of course, because that's what YouTube friends are for, basically.
The full video is on my channel. It's you can search either World of Oz or just my name, Sean Oz, and or click my little name in the chat where I just wrote hi, and you should be able to see that full video. It's a bizarre location. It's completely different than the mountain footage that I usually fly around.
Yeah, the moon footage thing that you published.
Yeah,
I never seen anything like it. It's I can't really imagine how the landscape turned out to be like that.
I'm sure if you look, what's something Gina and I, and you know Gina, but some of the top-down views, you can almost see like it looks like veins all through it. And we were talking about how interesting it is that nature like that with water running through it to shape those structures is so similar to the veins in our own body. You know, it looks so similar to each other.
There's probably a connection. Everything is tied together at some point.
Larry, see, that was in Utah, not in Austin. But I will be in Austin, Texas next month for Austin Drone Spin Up. Okay. Thank you, Raphael.
So it seems, hey, Rick is also here. And Raphael. I haven't looked much at the chat, to be honest, while we were talking. So I see a lot of familiar faces here. That's cool. It's so nice to see you. It's so nice you coming to hang out with us while we are experimenting with modern technology.
That is bizarre if you think about it. You're all the way over there, I'm all the way over here, and then you've got a buddy in another place, and here we are, all on YouTube at the same time.
Yeah, it's amazing what is possible nowadays.
Yeah, it is. Oh, cool. Larry's going to be at Austin Drone Spin Up. That's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Hi, Rick. How you been?
I'm just wondering if we could do this video review. I made a video specifically for this because the whole idea with this was basically that I want you guys to send in video clips that we can watch together here on the channel. And I picked myself as a volunteer. So it would be really nice if we managed to be able to play the video that I prepared for this. I can see what actually is going on. That part is a bit interesting.
Oh, here we go. Your car's up. I see it now. Is this your day-to-day driver?
Yeah.
And this is your new camera you're filming with?
That's up for debate.
Oh, those are some good transitions. Where's all the steam coming from?
Yeah, that was an interesting clip, yeah. So
what is the tree? Is that tree one of those?
The tree is actually located next to a school, and a brand new school that was built here. It's like a fog tree. So it's on a timer. So sometimes it blinks, and sometimes it evaporates water steam out of it. It's a pretty odd construction. So I thought I would just go over there and shoot a clip that could be used for this.
Yeah,
but
positions in there.
But the question here is, what camera do you think that I used for creating that clip?
For me, or let's let the chat answer that first.
That was for the chat, people. You are allowed to guess as well. I have many options.
I assuming it's your new one because you always talk how much you love the new one.
Yeah.
But it'd be impressive if it was something like one of the action cams and you pulled that off.
Let's maybe we could play it again.
I'll sketch out the corner of my eye. This, I can't talk without my hands, I guess.
All right. So we have a first bet. Raphael is betting on it's the A7. What was the Super 8? Anyone else has a guess what camera I used for this?
I would have to guess you used your A7 or maybe the Osmo Action.
Are you ready?
Your phone?
Yes.
Oh. Which phone is that?
It's an ordinary iPhone XS.
Oh, nice.
It's basically was an example. It's because I have this idea that I want to show how far you can push cinematic footage using a mobile device. So I set myself out for shooting some footage, and I actually have inspiration from a few other YouTubers that are practicing this. So I thought I would give it a go as well to try and see if I could shoot some cinematic scenes. So this is what you see there is something I shot. I used 5 minutes doing that, handheld with the phone.
Nice. So
everything is the reason why it looks like it looks is because I made it the lovely, nice treatment in Final Cut with the clips.
So with the transition, the one that spins in between, did you manually create that transition, or do you have a transition in Final Cut?
I have a transition. I follow this guy called Arthur Moore.
Okay.
He makes a transition pack that is called Badass. I think there's 3 versions of it. He's a really skilled guy, and he has those. Basically, you would download them for free. These rotation things.
I've had issues actually getting other people's transitions to load into my Final Cut Pro. I think it's because I'm using that very old version of Final Cut Pro.
But I also have problems sometimes. This very famous YouTube editor, Ryan Nagel, I think he's called.
I don't know him off the top of my
head. He has made like 1 million tutorials about all sorts of transitions and stuff. And sometimes when you download stuff from him, it doesn't plug into Final Cut, and other stuff does. So
in the chat, I see Rick. Rick has a good question for you about your electric unicycle.
Let's see.
He said, "What happened with the one-wheeler that got taken? The one that you got your
stolen?" Okay, I can update you on that. That had a lucky ending, because after a couple of weeks, I called the police station locally next to the park, with very little hope of getting it back. But it actually turned out somebody gave it in to the police, so I got it back, and it had very few scratches and was basically unharmed. So that was a pretty good story. The only problem was that I managed to buy another wheel while the other one was gone. So I was basically stuck with 2 pretty expensive wheels. So I decided to hand off the one that was actually lost or stolen. It was not stolen. It was in reality lost.
I got to admit, I do find it sort of funny that both of us drones, and you do e-wheels and I do electric skateboards. They sort of go to hand in hand.
Yeah, it does. It does. A lot of YouTubers actually do like these electric transportations. That's for sure. And as Raphael is saying, he knows the Badass transitions, and the Ryan Nagel are amazing, and I absolutely agree. It's they made a fantastic job. If you're into editing with Final Cut, you need to visit these 2 guys, because they know what they're talking about, and their editing skills is like a factor 20 of what I can do. But I'm learning all the time, and I love the process.
I'm good.
But the whole exercise with the phone here is funny, because everybody has a phone, and I will start producing some videos to show you how you get the best out of the cell phones that you have in your pocket. So hopefully we will have some fun with that. So let's see, is this... Felix says it looks like a Nissan sales event. That's probably right, but then I maybe should have cleaned the car first, because it was actually quite dirty.
Okay, making videos like that, maybe Nissan will send you a car.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be nice. They could just replace it every 2 months or so with a new model. Right. So, let's see what else we have in here. That's yeah. I think that was more or less it, what I had on the program here for tonight.
All right. Well, I appreciate you having me to test it out with you. Hopefully it went.
That was great having you here. It was great. Every one of you joined this live stream, and of course, excuse for all the technical problems we had on the way. But we will improve over time. I'm pretty sure we'll do that. We will keep continuing doing this as long as you want to participate. So I think that we can have some fun times with this.
I still want to get the live thing going on my channel. I've got a new setup that might work out pretty good for it. So it's just a matter of me learning OBS a little bit more fluently.
You can just ask me, then I will come and join you.
Yep, for sure. I'd love to have you, as well as others. I would like to get more of our viewers to join us here and there too. I think that would be really cool to have just a new person randomly join in that creates on YouTube also.
That would be awesome, yeah. So I think I will finish off the stream for now. I will say thank you for watching, and if you like the stream, then make sure to give it a like. If you didn't like it, then feel free to press the dislike button twice. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next one.